He's a
Oh
bum.
what? Joe, that's a Hall of Fame terrible take right there.
No, it's not. It's true. It's so true. Boy just choked. Straight women booty and let the ball go.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
LeBron James
puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Irving and Curry. One-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
Oh, yeah, but we'll get to explaining and debating in a second. What is up, everybody? Devion,
Yo.
it's great to have you back on the show. I gotta. Before we get into any of the NBA stuff, because we got a lot of stuff to get into. We got Embiid injury, Levine injury, LeBron being LeBron, trade rumors, trade deadline, all that good stuff. Are you and Joe beefing or something?
What you talking about?
Y'all just can't come on the same day. Y'all, when one of y'all shows up, the other one has to be out, bro. You need to get something off your chest. You good?
Nah, I love Joe.
All right.
It's my dog.
All right. We are 2 impossible for the third straight week now, but it's all good. We'll hold it down, Devion. The one consistent thing about this podcast.
Was you?
Me. Always here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Always
something.
here. You know, not part-time Dev or 3/4 time Joe, you know. I'm always here. To pick up your slack sometimes, Devion. You know, last week we had to talk about Doc Rivers getting a new job. I had to be the only one supplying the fucking hate for it, Devion.
Joe don't like him either. I don't know why he's
but Joe's goofy.
trying to be
how
nice.
Joe is. Joe, he wasn't trying to be nice. He was critical, but you know, it didn't have the same flavor of hate that was necessary for the moment, Devion.
Nah, we'll get
How that
it.
goes.
We'll get it this week because he's an all-star coach. So the week continues.
Continues. All right, Devion, let's start with the bad news. We'll try and get the bad news out the way. He'll probably turn to hate again later, but it's all good. Embiid tearing his goddamn meniscus. So the controversy with this one is the day before, or game before, I should say, the Sixers ended up getting fined because they sat Embiid but didn't give like the proper notice, you know, with those new injury and resting rules. The NBA kind of felt like he wasn't really hurt or anything, and that they were just trying to give him a rest day without any cause, right? Next game, he comes back, boom, he ends up tearing the knee that they said he was resting, that left knee. So he tears his meniscus. Now, again, this was more of a freak accident, you know, Kuminga, which I'm going to get into this whole part later too, but Kuminga falls on him, right? Falls right on that knee, hyperextends, and tears a meniscus. So, Devion, a lot going on there, but what's your overall reaction just to Embiid tearing his meniscus, impact on the Sixers? You know, I think both you and I have had this injury before, so know a little bit about it.
Shit hurt bad.
It does. It sure does.
That's NBA fault because the NBA, like all these dumbass rules of like these players gotta play. I get it, you know, for the fan, but it's just like you go rush him to go back. This dude's 7 foot with knee problems, like that ain't nothing to play with. And then now he got to rush back, go do this. He tears meniscus when he really was hurt. Denver's coach go in bitching about the same stuff. They do the same stuff and complain. Then Embiid don't play in Denver, and it's 3 straight years. I'm just like, it's the timing. You know, you can't
Fuck
control.
Fuck that. He was dodging it. He was dodging Jokic. Fuck that.
Nah, well, if he was dodging Jokic,
he want the smoke.
He tore his meniscus the next game, so it don't look like he was dodging nobody. So just dumbass rules where you got to play a certain amount of games. You can't rest when you need to, and we go see this more often. Same stuff. So I don't know.
I don't really think it's because he's like, I don't think if Kuminga doesn't fall on him, I think he goes through that game perfectly fine. Like, I don't really know how injured he was or was not going in. I'm not going to even try to estimate
if they didn't have that rule, he probably would have set out 2 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? He could sell 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
Possibly, I just like
arrested.
Yeah, I mean it's possible he would have sat out, but this puts him in a tough situation. This is by no means like a season ender. Like meniscus in terms of recovery is not a super long recovery. It's 6 to 8 weeks. It's not too bad. But the East is pretty bunched up there. 1 through 4, and then obviously the Heat made their move to get Terry Rozier, so you would expect them to start. This is the time of the year that the Heat kind of start putting things in full gear. So you kind of expect them to probably start rising. So what do you think? And another thing needs to be said. No longer going to be in the MVP conversation because we'll miss too many games now.
Yeah, I just think that's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like
why, bro? If he
because
misses half the games, you can't be the fucking MVP.
he ain't gonna miss half the games. He gonna probably miss like
he's already
20
missed
games.
14.
He'll probably miss like 20 games.
That's the fourth of the season.
He plays 60-something games and he dominating. So it's just like how much more?
He ain't gonna be playing 60.
Yeah, 10 games with the way he playing 10 games. Him playing 10 extra games not good for nobody else. It's actually
he's about to miss like 20 more, like 15 to 20 more games. He's already missed 14 going into that game. So
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. It's just like you can't. He having a great season and he is just unlucky. He got hurt. So you getting.
Stop flopping. Stop putting all that extra fucking.
Bro, he's 7 foot, bro. Like that shit is just.
Stop doing all that extra falling. Bad for your fucking knees and back.
This one was a coincidence, though.
Yeah. This
what I'm saying? That's just it's just crazy.
Dude
averaging 35 a game, 35, 12, and 2 blocks a game, and you're not even. You should be
crazy?
MVP, but
I can never. He averages like 12 rebounds a game. I can never. Whenever I put a goddamn bet on him for overs on rebounds, I put it at like 8, and he never hits it for me.
I don't know why.
Average all these goddamn rebounds, but the times that I want to fucking bet on him, he doesn't. But that's neither here nor there. What do you think this does to the Sixers, though, in terms of the East?
Nothing. I think they can still maintain pretty much because Maxey. I like the way Maxey's playing. Like I think he's
that first game Embiid missed after that knee injury, 50 piece.
Because you got Pat Bev in his ear who pretty much gonna go in here and tell him like, hey, big fella out, they're gonna be looking at you, everything gonna be your fault. So you go step up or you go, prove them right. And then they gonna go out there and kill. So I think they're gonna be just fine and they're not gonna fall too far down the line. So when Embiid like slowly transitions back in, bro, it's over. Who's gonna stop him in the playoffs? He's gonna come back. He's gonna do that. You got inside and outside game. You got Pat Bev, who gonna be a whole nother monster in the playoffs, and he gonna be the real X factor.
Irritator.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna be the real X factor for the 76ers, and I don't know. I think that'd be fine. And then in the playoffs, it's just I hope they don't get a crazy matchup like first round, which I gotta see over the next like
really go crazy
games that like he misses, like which teams go start going crazy.
Also, the people have spoken.
Yeah,
I'm right.
Yeah,
it's a coincidence. Ain't nothing wrong there.
No, so, I don't know. I think they cool. I think they still think everybody should be worried about them.
I'm a little worried for them. Okay, I'm worried and I'm not worried. To me, they were a second round exit either way. I think they're a second round exit either way. So in terms of their final destiny, I don't think anything really changes. I'd say this puts them as a first round exit. Gives them a little more higher chance at being a first round exit. But he'll be back in time. The only thing you worry about with him is like how is that going to affect his conditioning, and then is that going to lead to, with it being such important games when he comes back, like will he try and ramp up too quickly and then not be able to stay healthy, like hamstring after the knee injury, like those types of soft tissue injuries that happen.
He missed all the games allowed, so at this point you can rest up as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna get fined, and
right, what I'm saying, Devion,
but I get what you're saying.
Like I know after a knee injury, all of your other muscles in that leg get worked a little harder. So if he's coming back, and he's coming back basically in playoff time, they're gonna have to ramp him up to 35, to 35 minutes pretty quickly. And I'd just be worried that he would tweak something soft tissue. But I want to talk about the Warrior side of this because remember Remember a few years ago, year or two ago, when Steve Kerr got all fucking pissed off because someone dove for a loose ball that he deemed was reckless, and
Yeah,
then it
goofy shit.
injured one of his players? Well, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck is he condoning on the goddamn Warriors now?
That's
Because
why I
that's
said
the
it's just
exact
goofy.
type shit that happened to Embiid and why Embiid's out right now. That same shit that he claimed he was so against and doesn't tolerate and all that is Bush League and whatnot. Well, look how the tables have turned, Devion.
You know how I feel about that shit. That's just a bunch of just Steve. Well, hey, look, I'll say this. Look, I know this ain't the topic, but I'm gonna say this because we brought it up. But I just told my homie the other day. I said we watching the fall of the Warriors, and don't nobody want to admit it. And they're gonna look now. All the fuck shit about to start coming out. All the shit we've explained about to start coming out. It's about to look like a circus. But yeah, that was goofy as fuck. But ain't nobody gonna say nothing to him because everybody love the Warriors and love Kerr.
Some
But
reporter after the game should have mentioned his comments from the years past on the exact
yeah,
type
that's
of
what I'm
play.
saying. Like, what happened to like getting? If this was like LeBron or somebody else, they gonna try to get a reaction. It's just like, all right, bro, fuck Kerr. Like, do your job and go out there and get on that boy about that fuck shit. He just because that's some shit he coaches. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. The shit that the Warriors and all them players be doing, even that dumb shit, that shit that he sees all the time, he coaches it and he allows it and he leaves them out there. So I don't believe none of that shit. I think he's just a goofy, and they time is over. So
Yeah, it's not.
I'm here for it all.
It's not looking good for him right now.
Mm,
Let's talk
clip
about
that
another
up.
injury though, because this kind of impacts potentially your Lakers. But he was the topic of a lot of different trades with the Bulls. Zach LaVine, has to have a procedure done on his foot now. He's gonna be out for the season. I don't think no one's really worried about the Bulls as a team and like, oh, what are they gonna compete for something? No, that window had about a 2-week period, and Lonzo Ball got hurt and then fucked it all up a couple years ago when they would have had maybe a window to do a little damage in the East.
Mm-hmm.
But he was looked at as a piece that other teams could potentially go get. So give me your kind of quick reaction to the whole LaVine injury and potential impact on other contenders.
I just fucked the Bulls up. That's really what it did. I think because you can trade them this year, but who you gonna trade them for? You know what I'm saying? Like you go trade them some young team. Like you can't trade them to like a team like Houston or one of them old teams that used to suck. So you gotta wait till he comes back and do it. I think the Lakers now they're gonna move away from that because they're trying to win right now. So now I don't think they even worry about Levine. They go for Trey Young or Murray, which I hope they get Murray instead of Trey Young. But um I think his draft stock. I mean his trade stock is just went to zero. The Bulls just had a bro. It just got worse for him. Just like you had some piece because they was gonna get some good shit for him. They might have got rid of DeMar DeRozan. You would have got some decent picks or something for him. Now the most you can do is just try to go sell. You know what I'm saying? Go trade DeMar DeRozan. But if teams like how I negotiate, I'm gonna try to fuck you over because I'm just like, nah, I wanted him too. I would just throw some shit in there to try to get more from. Like, yeah, but I wanted him. So I think that just that just set their organization back again. It's like we just watched the same thing on repeat for like the last 3 to 5 years with them, with
I think this
injuries and all that.
potentially saved a contender from a mistake. I
Yeah.
don't think Levine's the guy
Oh,
to.
you mean like the content? I don't. I'm not sold on. I'm not like I
I'm
like
not sold on
Levine,
Levine as a
but
winning player. I think he's a
he
fun,
don't
exciting
even.
player to watch, but I
Yeah.
don't like the Heat before they got Rozier were rumored to be in the mix for Levine, and I was just sitting there every night. Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
It don't
Please
make
don't do
sense
it.
to y'all. Don't make sense for the Lakers either. He don't play no defense.
Yeah, no, so I think it
Dang.
saved a contender. Maybe we could see him still get moved, but it's like you're saying, it's like the price that they were going to be able to ask for or set for Levine, it's just completely different now because a young team that's not really ready to contend, that's going to take on somebody that's not going to play this year, it just doesn't really make a ton of sense, right? The only team, and we kind of seen them just do it, a very low key trade that happened overnight.
Oh yeah.
The the Grizzlies and the Rockets swapping 2 players that are already out for the season, and Victor Oladipo and Steven Adams. You could maybe do something like that, but again, you're just that's not really the return. You were hoping you could run this thing right up to the trade deadline and maximize, get into a bidding war between a couple 2-3 teams and really drive that price up, maybe get some first round picks or whatever they were trying to look for, if they were looking for players, whatever that may be. Now, maybe a young team will give you kind of if a young team's got an older player that maybe you could get an Alec Burks maybe from Detroit or something.
bro.
But why do the Bulls don't want that? The Bulls wouldn't want that.
The only time I can see I guess right now is really what you described, because I think that's what the Steven Adams trade was. They were just getting
that was a sneaky trade for I think the Grizzlies. That was kind of a sneaky trade for the Rockets.
I think it's gonna be just
Oladipo, if he can get we're all praying for Oladipo to be able to stay healthy for any extended time period, but him was kind of a secondary guy right next to Ja, could be a point of attack defender. I was kind of a low key, okay.
But that's what I'm saying. You might do it.
Well, that's a unique situation right there.
Yeah, until Ja comes back.
The Bulls don't have a Ja Morant coming back next year.
The Bulls gotta hope to trade somebody that possibly with him right now, who if something goes wrong, they go on cap space, or if it goes right, they can see that themselves contending in 2 or 3 years from now. So that's gonna come with contract extension and all that shit. So it's who wants to pay Levine off of that? And this is a pivotal point right now for him to get hurt, and it sucks for him. But I think he'll bounce back. But all the contenders, really, if we went down a list of contenders and we said on 5 on each side, literally just the top 5 on each side, we probably don't need them, because 2 or 3 teams on East, it's 2 or 3 teams on the East, mainly the East. They don't really need to make no trades.
I'll give you one team that I could see maybe biting, because I don't think they're really there this year. They're having a really good year for them. The Orlando Magic. I could see them punching for maybe someone that could bring a little more consistent scoring to their backcourt.
I don't like him for them now, because he go fuck up their chemistry, their defense, and then you can go get somebody else.
I think they have enough other defenders to kind of cover for what he doesn't do. I could maybe see that, maybe they package up so they have a lot of guards right now. They have a lot of guards. They realistically aren't really going to be able to find minutes for all of them. But again, are these players that the Bulls really want? Do you want a Jalen Suggs if you're the Bulls? Markelle Fultz? Are those the people that are going to help you kind of flip the team around? I mean, I don't know.
Man, the Bulls, they best shot is honestly, if I was them, I'd try to do whatever I can.
Let them all walk. Just let them all walk.
I would be like, you know what? Let me go try to go and trade for. I know this might be wild, but I'm like, let me go trade for a Zion or something. Because even if you having the same issues as him, at least he's young enough. You moved him out the city, and people will want to come play with Zion in Chicago. So it's just but it's still not a great move, because why the fuck would you give
the Pelicans going to do that?
Yeah, why would you do that to go be even more guard heavy, and get smaller? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
A tough spot.
The Lakers was their best bet.
Let's talk about your Lakers.
That was it.
So y'all had an up and down week. Y'all been up and down for a minute now. But
you don't want to believe me, Will.
Following one of their losses early in the week, LeBron had to kind of stop himself mid post game interview, because I think he was about to say something out of pocket and would have probably got killed for it. Yeah. Didn't want to throw his teammates under the bus. Stopped himself. Then posted on IG the little hourglass emoji. No one really knew what that meant completely. If you're a pessimist, you're like, oh, he wants Darvin Ham fired and a bunch of these players traded. If you're an optimist, he's saying, just wait, everything's going to be okay. Time, whatever. I'm not going to try and pretend and know what LeBron meant. There's part of me that feels like LeBron probably knew that he would just get a reaction and was probably laughing. But what would you make of LeBron's kind of cryptic? There were some people thinking maybe this meant he wanted to be traded. What'd you make of the whole controversy this week?
He's just saying that we on limited time to make moves for a championship run. That's all I took from it. Because people keep saying the shit. I'm sorry, people keep saying the same stuff about Darvin Ham. Oh, Darvin Ham's this. He's LeBron doesn't like this. Like, bro, LeBron ain't never really had. He only had like 2 good coaches, bro. Like people make it seem like this motherfucker was out here having the greatest coaches in the world. Like
Yeah, people
people,
like to call him a coach killer. It's like, okay.
yeah,
The
it
only
ain't.
coaches that's really worth the damn that he's had has been Spoelstra and Lou.
And nobody says nothing bad about either one of them. Do that?
Well, he did try to get Spo fired.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that was some ego shit. But don't
That was
don't
before
nobody outside
everyone
him
knew
say
exactly
that.
what Spo was, but yeah,
Yeah,
he eventually
but
bought him.
I don't think nothing of it. I think they just out here. We need to make a trade because we obviously 1, maybe 2 pieces away from being contenders. So I think it's time. But firing our coach is not gonna solve the problems we got. You know
Because who's going to come replace him?
who go? Yeah,
Doc
like
Rivers isn't available anymore.
I want him anyway. Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. Shit, that's I ain't gonna say nothing bad right now. I'll wait, but I don't got nothing for them. We just need to make a trade. That's all it is. It's just like we need to make a trade. Time's ticking, father time. LeBron ain't going nowhere unless he want to play for his son or something. I'm not gonna say he won't leave or he can't leave. He could, but it's just like at this point in your career, what like why is LeBron gonna leave? Bronny's at USC. His family's there. All his business is there. Why the fuck would he leave LA to go out here? And the first time he went to LA for this exact reason, so he can coach his son up, do all this other shit. So why would you go and leave now? Because oh my bad, I'm a 4-time champion. I I ain't getting it done with it. Man, fuck up. They just want something to talk about. We just trade. And that's it. We about to go trade somebody. Somebody on the chopping block. That's it.
Yes, I did see a report that apparently the Lakers are making my boy Gabe Vincent available to trade already. Look,
We Miami Heat killers. We Miami Heat
I was about to
player
stop
killers.
killing my goddamn favorite
We are.
players, okay? Can you just not sign him anymore? I can't wait for y'all to sign Caleb Martin in the offseason and then get mad when he doesn't do what he did with Miami. Like I
knew
can
Gabe
just see
Vincent
it
was gonna
happening
be a
right
good
now.
pickup for us. I knew he was, and we just found a way to fuck that up. Like
Now he's mostly been injured. He hasn't really played at all this year. He's played only a handful of games. Looks like he's slated to come back around the end of February. But
which is cool when we need him. That's when we would need him.
yeah.
But I guess I don't know. Bro, I'm just waiting for the season to end. I keep telling y'all we not winning shit this year. It's too many teams that are actually. It's enough teams right now that are actually complete that really don't need to OKC. Let's be real. OKC don't need to trade for nobody. I don't think Sacramento don't need to trade for nobody. Indiana traded for fucking the greatest piece that they could have got. They don't need to trade with nobody no more. Denver's fine. Like we got too many teams that just, as they saying right now, way better than us. And we gonna have to trade for I know people want Trae Young. Trae Young will be cool, but we don't play defense. And I don't think Vanderbilt ain't gonna be out here. Vanderbilt ain't no Kawhi when it comes to defense. I get Lakers fans, I get it. We want him to be Kawhi, but he's not. And the motherfucker can't score really on most days to save his life. He's playing one end or the other. You might get a little offense or a lot of defense, and that's it. So just make the trade so that shit can be so we can stop fucking talking about it and we can go back to being sorry and shit and just crying about
All right,
oh
well, let's just
man.
move right into the trade
Man,
rumors. So there was
fuck
a
outta
couple big names out here. You kind of talked about one. I saw people saying LeBron might have asked for a trade. Then I saw Ellen Hahn claim that the Lakers should trade LeBron. Like that would be the best move for the Lakers would be to trade him. So we're gonna start with that one. Should the Lakers want to trade LeBron, Devion?
For what? I would be open to it, but what the fuck are you gonna get? What you go trade for him for? And what team are you possibly going to trade him to that won't give you problems that you got to face again. You're going to have to trade him back to the East. And there's so many teams in the East that they so young. Why the fuck would you get it up for a 40-year-old man? Like, but why would we trade him to y'all? But I'm saying, why would we trade him to y'all? The players that we would get versus just giving y'all the championship, it don't make sense to me. That's why I'm just like, just
Look,
keep
you
his
can
ass and let
have
him
you
walk.
can have Caleb Martin.
Nah,
You can have
nah.
if you
Cause y'all ain't giving up Jimmy. Y'all ain't giving
of
up
course
Bam. And them the two, and we gonna want one of those two for either to be on the Lakers or to do a trade piece, and y'all not giving them up. And I wouldn't either if I was y'all. I'm not giving Jimmy up for LeBron.
you can secure
Which
having just
sounds
the coolest
crazy.
white boy in the NBA. We'll give you Hero too. So you'll have Hero and Reeves. You'll solidify best white boy in the league,
I
whichever
don't
way
want
you
that
slice it.
shit. I don't want the two same players that play the exact same on the team that we already got problems with. No. With AD? Oh.
Hey, fellow UK guy.
Oh, come on. Oh, nah. I ain't going for none of that shit. I'm next. Next. We ain't
20
going
plus points per game scored, Devian. Come on now. Okay, so the other one that I heard, which involved my team, is Kendrick Perkins open his giant ass fucking mouth saying that the Heat should trade Jimmy Butler because the window's over, it's closed. Just trade Jimmy, let him go contend somewhere else. Now, mind you, after both these rumors got started, both agents came out very definitively and said LeBron is not getting traded from the Lakers. Jimmy's agent came out and said Jimmy is never leaving Miami. He's going to bring a championship to Miami. The same thing that Jimmy says every fucking year, right? But should the Heat entertain trading Jimmy Butler?
again. For who? Like, for real. Who are you going to trade him for that is not already old, that got injury problems, and then you gonna give up your guy you know is gonna be good to go and try to take a chance? If this was fucking Wemby, all right. You know what I'm saying? That I trade for him, but let's be real, they ain't giving him up. It's if you can get something decent for Jimmy Butler, go ahead because y'all coaches are y'all good enough as like a team and organization where y'all can get the player you need to, assimilate with the
Devian, I'll tell you
thing.
right now,
But
I'm
I
trading
don't think it's happening.
Bam, I'm trading Hero, I'm trading anybody else on the goddamn team before I trade Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I just don't
At the end of
see
the day, when
why.
Jimmy actually plays and is on the court, the Heat, we can win. We can win the finals. So, I'm not hearing nothing. Like, I'm not hearing window close. No, it's not.
It ain't him.
They're reacting to a fucking losing streak in goddamn January. This is what blows my mind.
Y'all do this shit
Like,
every
I would have
year.
thought like last year would have like really just nailed the coffin shut of all these stupid overreactions before the playoffs with my Heat, especially in the Jimmy Butler era. It doesn't fucking matter. We've gone to the finals 2 out of 4 years with Jimmy. We were the 5 seed the first time. We were the 7 seed at the end of the regular season, 8 seed by the play-in via the play-in last year. We've gone to the conference finals 3 out of the 4 years. Why would we break up this team? Why?
Because
Especially after we
people
just traded for Terry Rozier.
Yeah, like Rozier was a great piece for y'all. That y'all really don't need to get rid of Jimmy. Y'all needed something else to get to.
If anything,
Really,
I think the Heat's only problem right now is I would not be against packaging up 2 or 3 players for one, because if anything, there's almost too much depth on the Heat in the sense that it's hard for I think some of the role players to get into a rhythm because they're just not getting the minutes that they're accustomed to getting.
Yeah, for real. Like I don't. That's why I'm saying. Like I get when people saying trade them. I'm just like, what deals are you going to package up that are really going to help y'all right now?
In what period of life has Pat Riley ever said, "Let's reset. Let's not try and win right
With
now"?
y'all best player at the deadline and then try to contend at the same one without having.
When has Pat Riley ever done
solidified
that? When has Pat Riley
Hall
ever
of
said,
Fame.
"Oh, we'll give up on the
Yeah.
season"? He's never done that. Don't make no sense. You know
That's
what it really
media
is, Devion?
talk.
You know
That's
what it is,
media talk
Devion?
shit.
It's these goddamn Celtics. It's these Celtics fans and Celtics media. They are so fucking terrified of the Heat. They are so goddamn terrified of the Miami Heat. And
Well, they
so
can't beat
Perkins
y'all.
is trying to
So
start the rumor to get Jimmy out of there purely for the Celtics' benefit. He wants them to send him to fucking New York or something, where you know that's never gonna fucking work. You know New York ain't gonna do shit,
Nah.
and just rely on taking out the Heat. The Bucks already took themselves out by hiring a fucking fraud of Doc Rivers. So now it's really just down to the really only other real team you have to worry about if you're the Celtics is probably the Heat.
Yeah, unless you get what is it, New York Knicks do a package deal with Shea and somebody else to get Shea to New York, and then other, that's it.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna happen. They love that young dude. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna leave. Now, he will be after this season will be the best chances of like trying to package up the deal because he may not want to stay at OKC because his his literal career depends on him
We'll
leaving.
see how this season goes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, we'll get to it later when we do our power rankings. But you weren't on the last time that Joe and I did power rankings. But OKC was my number one. I
Yeah,
mean, that team is fucking nice.
they pretty
And
much
if they make a
I
run,
I
I don't know
talk
that he's
about
going to
it.
want to. I don't know if he's going to want to dip on that. But let's talk about the trade that you want to see, Devion. This can be for your Lakers, for a player you like, whatever it is. The trade that you want to see happen.
Really, the only one I want to see is Murray come to the Lakers because I think
I've
I
heard that
really
that's been a pretty divisive topic amongst Laker
yeah,
Nation, from what I understand.
and I get it, but people got to realize like these Lakers fans got to realize like what is Murray? The first thing this nigga was all defensive team player. People forget about that, and then he can give you 15 to 20 points a game, and he's 6'7".
I mean, you see how clutch this dude is too. I mean, this dude is on a heater right now in clutch moments. He gamed Orlando, then came
Come
back,
on,
ruined Udonis Haslam's jersey night in Miami,
yeah, real
gaming him on a
shit.
three. Then just last night, he just in overtime just kept making clutch shot after clutch
Yeah,
shot against the
he can
Warriors.
make the last shot. He used to being around players
And you
who
know that's
score a
something
lot.
LeBron values because
Yeah,
LeBron wants other people to feel confident in that
yeah,
moment.
and this is the point of why people I get their torn about this, but no, I don't actually. I don't get why they torn because it don't make no sense. People in the fucking Lakers love Prince, and I'm like, bro, he shoots 7 threes a game. I'm not impressed with his game. They fucking love Rui. You know what I'm saying? I love Rui. They fucking Vanderbilt and all this stuff. Oh, Cam's gonna shoot the three. You got one player in Devontae Murray that can do all that. One player. One. And you know what I'm saying? And he really could be he really should be our third option. But now you got three players between him, Reeves, and D'Lo if he don't get put in that trade that in any given night could take over and give you 20 points. So why wouldn't you want him? And I get Trae Young is fun to watch, but that nigga don't play defense. We're a liability and we got like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so
We don't need that.
here's my issue with Trae Young to the Lakers, right?
I don't like that
No,
trade.
again, I think it would still be a really good trade for y'all if y'all did that because it just make
Yeah,
y'all a little different. It'd be kind of
that's
against
all it
what
is.
seems to be Darvin Ham's identity. He seems to be more of a defensive minded
We gonna
guy.
turn to the
You'd have to
motherfucking Bucks. If we get Trey Young,
yeah,
we gonna
you'd
turn
have
to
to
the
play like the
Bucks.
Bucks or the
Yeah,
Pacers, like high pace.
and
What
we
I
don't.
like about it is it's somebody that can
Uh,
legitimately take the ball out of LeBron's hands.
yeah,
Like LeBron would not have to work as much offensively. Right. To me, that's a good thing for his career. He can still do that in the fourth quarter. Trae Young also a very good clutch shot maker. Right. So I like all of that. I think Murray probably fits what Ham wants to do a little more. The issue that I have with Trae Young is you would need to have another guard that can be your point of attack defender. Right. You have
yeah,
one in Gabe Vincent when he comes back, but all of a sudden you're real small then. Like you'd have to play both of them, and that's two guys that are 6 feet tall. So
yeah. You know what
to
I'm saying?
me, like that would just be that's a tough fit in today's NBA where you've got a lot of bigger guards that can be very versatile with the ball. Now, again, Gabe can handle his own business, but they're going to look for Trey. And at the end of the day, Gabe's defense it's only going to go so far. If you get someone at 6'8" on him, right? Like we saw the Nuggets do it against the Heat in the finals last year.
Yeah.
They're going to run switches to get Aaron Gordon with Gabe Vincent guarding him and just
Dog 'em.
flipping the ball. And Jokic is unselfish enough to let it happen. So the Lakers would have a hard time with the team that you got to look out for the most in the
Yeah.
West.
We really, if we gonna stick to guards, they just gotta be big as fuck. That's just and that's the thing about now, and that's why I tell people. See, I know that this is why you should have kept fucking Pat Bev. So you go get a Murray. You don't have these issues no more. But getting a guard that
I think it's
LeBron.
still be the same thing though, right? Because
I think with
Murray and
Murray,
Vincent the
with
same thing, right? They're
him,
both very good
nah.
defensively, but you, that only goes to a certain point,
Well,
right?
but
You get a
we
6'8"
picked
dude
up
on them.
on defense and a motherfucker who can score and somebody who's gonna hit clutch shots. The same shit that everybody except me is sold on with Cam Reddish, Prince, and everybody else. You got one player that can do that, and we gonna get a bunch of shooters or somebody else with it. So that's why I'm saying, like, well, what Murray does defensively is really
Yeah,
better than what the players
Murray
we
is
gonna
the
give
fit
up.
to me because again
Yeah,
he's bigger.
way better.
I think a backcourt of Murray, Gabe Vincent, and Austin Reeves, whichever two of those three
Yeah,
are
our
playing at the same
second
time.
lineup is gonna be big as fuck, and they all shooters, and they all can score, and they all gonna run like him, Austin Reeves, and all them. They gonna run and gun. They will run and gun, shoot that bitch from hell, go back. He might be the only one. Him and Vanderbilt might be the only two playing defense, but it's like shit. That's what we gonna have for our second unit, but it'll work because look at what we got right now. We really got a bunch of flunkies on our squad that we thought was gonna do something. They ain't doing nothing. So go get and he played for the Spurs. I haven't seen too many caliber players like that from the Spurs that leave, go to other teams and suck. It's just like if and when they there for that long for a decent amount of
Yeah.
time. So I take a Spurs. I tell you, I'm all for certain like players like that, Spurs, but Trey Young need to go to that motherfucker need to go somewhere like Sacramento or something, or he need to go somewhere where they could do
Hey,
like,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie. If the Heat hadn't just traded for Terry Rozier,
I would have liked him right there. I ain't gonna lie, I would have loved him
we'll
because
cover up that other shit.
you could have
Cover up
made
that other
let
shit.
him shoot literally average 40 a game and say, don't worry about that defense shit. Just play the passing lane. We go take care of the rest. Like him, he would have been cool.
Bo would hide him in a zone,
That's it.
for a good chunk of the game, and yeah, I would
I would have loved that.
Trey Young.
But I love
But
Rozier. So
Devion, I'm gonna give you a trade for my Heatles. I understand this might be a little controversial. There's a little ego involved because he's also a player similar to Russ in the last couple of years who people just all of a sudden have turned on and said you can't win with him. Now there's an injury history here that does concern me. And like if I was actually the GM, I probably at the end of the day wouldn't pursue it. I'd probably pursue someone else, but the potential there is mind blowing to me. I'd love to see the Heat package up some of their lesser assets. 'Cause I don't think you have to give up a ton. Trade for Ben Simmons.
I would.
Let Ben come to Miami and get in with that culture. Now I'm a little concerned. I don't know. I'll have to get cleared by Jimmy, former teammate in Philly, so it would need Jimmy's stamp of approval. But I think consolidating there, I've envisioned Ben as like a bench player for the Heat, a guy that comes in, pushes the pace with the second unit, gets the second unit easy shots, defends very well, not looked to score with the Miami Heat, whereas everyone else seems like just begging him to be a 20 points per game scorer. Nah, come in, play defense, push the pace, rebound, get assists.
I'm fine with it.
I'm kind of in for it. I've been watching the Nets as he's come back here recently, playing in limited minutes. I mean, he is so fucking talented. Like,
He only got one.
So
He has.
goddamn talented.
He only has one issue. It's only one issue, and I think y'all can fix that. It's a mentality thing, and y'all reset people's mentality.
He's either gonna crack or crumble with the.
That's it. He gonna be exactly
gonna
what everybody said he
succeed
gonna be. Yeah, or
crumble,
be a
yeah.
Kwame Brown type shit, like a flop.
Bro, I would love
I
to
would
see him
try
as a
it.
secondary defender. Again, I don't think you have to give up a ton, right? Like, I think if you gave them like whether it's like Caleb Martin or maybe they would bite on Jovic since Spo seemingly doesn't want to ever fucking play him. Except for like the 10-game stretch where we were all hurt and Jovic was playing out of his mind. Put up big numbers against your Lakers when we beat y'all the other day or a few weeks ago. Like, I don't know, whatever. But I think the Heat needs somebody on their team that can push pace a little bit. Now we're seeing it with Rozier a little bit. He kind of helps get the pace going sometimes, but also someone that can just get other people good shots.
Yeah, because what do? Y'all gonna find a whole bunch of players that just want to. Y'all got a bunch of role players, and Ben really don't want to score. He want to play defense, pass the ball, and then he'll go get a couple rebounds and shit. But y'all got players
He's gonna
like
he would get Duncan Robinson 4 open threes a game.
every time.
And Duncan's probably gonna hit 3 of those.
Yeah. Like,
You know,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be like I would have been cool with if the Lakers, if we went and got somebody like him, but we need shooters. We don't have enough shooters, so we can't get a player like him.
I also
I
think he's
think,
like a perfect backup big to
yeah,
Bam, because him and Bam are actually very similar. Bam's
yeah,
a better scorer than he is and wants to score more,
yeah.
but in
Because I
terms
don't
of
think he wants to
passing,
play point
defending,
guard.
Bam no.
Uh, no,
Bam
no. I mean, Simmons. I don't think he wants to play. I think he's just like at a point.
I think he
He
likes
just,
playmaking, but I don't think
yeah,
he like I think he wants to still rebound and like do all that and then push
yeah. He's a
pace.
3. Ben Simmons is an actual 3,
He's like a
but
3 or 4. He's like a
yeah.
kind of a tweener, you know.
I would turn him into Bam. I ain't gonna lie. I would turn him to Bam because he'll fuck up all the 4s. And so you run across like Kevin Durant and people like that, and he still can make it hard for them because that's a big ass body.
And
I
like, you know,
wouldn't
one of
do
his
it.
issues has always been foul trouble, but in my head, in my scenario, he's not playing a bunch of minutes.
No,
So
yeah,
fuck it, hack away. I don't care.
I wouldn't mind that. I think I take a y'all took a risk on Oladipo. Look what the fuck y'all did with Kyle Lowry.
Oh man, can we just?
I'm
He's gone.
I'm
He's
just
finally
being
gone.
real. Look at what y'all did with Kyle Lowry. I'm convinced. Y'all can do it with anybody
Oh,
at this
thank
point.
God Kyle's gone. Been such a happy Heat fan since he's been gone. We were losing. I'm just sitting there like, you know what? We're losing, but I don't got to watch fucking Kyle Lowry play.
Yeah, but
It's
y'all gonna start
fantastic.
winning again. Because
Yeah,
Rozier,
we won 2 straight now. That's
yeah.
why everyone's losing their mind, bro. Like I tell you, like I'm involved with some little sections of Heat Twitter, right? I'm sitting there, I'm like, people are like, this team just suck now. They're just are we cooked? Blah blah blah. I'm like y'all
It's
need to relax.
5
All right.
games. We haven't even made it to the end of
This is how
February. Wait,
spoiled
come
us as
on.
Heat fans are, though, Devion. This was the longest losing streak since the 2008 season when Dwayne Wade got hurt. We went like 15 and 67. 7-game
Ah,
losing streak. That was the longest losing streak that the Heat Nation had endured since then.
yeah,
It's a spoiled fan base.
I'm used to it. So, okay, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know either. Another trade. I'm trying to see who I want to be here. But the Dallas Mavericks, I'm trying to see they missing something. Like
Yeah,
Kyrie.
that's a good. We should probably cook one up for not our teams.
I'm
That's
like
a
now
solid
look,
idea.
I'll be say like a Durant, like a Murray goes to like them, I think will be very helpful. Like a Mavs, if they can get a similar type of player like him that's bigger, they don't need no more guards. They need 3, 4s, and 5s that can kind of play like guards, but they more so like 4 mentalities.
See, I want to see them get like another big.
Yeah, that's what I said. They
Derek
gotta
Lively has
get
been a
like
great rookie.
I
He's been a
like him.
great rookie. I like him a
I like
lot.
him a lot.
I just think they need some depth there. I think an
Just a little bit
underrated
more
pickup that they
experience.
underrated pickup they made in the
Yeah.
offseason, I think, was getting Derek Jones Jr. over there. A very versatile wing. Defends really well, shoots it okay. But I think
Nick
the Heat going
Williams
with some.
too. That was like y'all
They need
touched
some
it
size.
up.
They need some more rim
That's it.
protection because look,
Yeah.
Kyrie in his best day could at times defend. Luka ain't never tried to play defense.
Nah.
Right, their 2-star perimeter players are they're kind of practice cones
They
when it comes to
offensively
defensively. So you need somebody at
deadly.
the
Yeah.
rim that can challenge. I just the thing maybe like a Clint Capella, he would get a lot of easy lobs from Luka and Kyrie. I'm
You
not
know
the
what?
biggest Clint Capella fan, but I think for them, what they would be asking him to do, I think that kind of makes sense. Just another big body.
I actually like that one a lot. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I actually like that a lot because Luca just want to get people the ball. So you gotta get players who really can't create their own offense and who just go up there and get it and get boards and get lobs. And that's him. I actually would like Capella. Like that's why I was like, I'm trying to see who like a Steven Adams. If Steven Adams was actually like healthy, that would be the perfect fucking player for them. So on the offseason, if I think he ain't gonna be hurt no more, I try to pick his ass up. I ain't gonna lie. I try to pick him up for
And see
about
what the
2
Pelicans are talking
seasons
about.
and do
Or I
that.
mean, Houston is talking about.
I would, man. Houston ain't about to. Houston got Steven Adams because they saw what Steven Adams did with that young core in Memphis and what he did.
Yep.
And the exact same shit I was saying why they will go suck and what was gonna happen is exactly what's happening now. Houston is just trying to get, and they got fucking what's the dude his name? The old Celtics coach, Ime.
Ime.
You got him on there, which I think he's a decent coach.
He's a
So
very good basketball coach.
I think he's a great coach. So you got that with
Questionable
that.
person, but very good basketball coach.
Yeah, hey man, sometimes people gotta be fucked up in the mind to create great products. You know how the world works. Hey, fucked up people do great things in their own
I just
perspective.
still can't rationalize. You have
Let me be quiet before I
Had-
get us in trouble.
had Nia Long. My boy. You already outkicked your coverage there, buddy. With Nia Long. I mean, that was we're not gonna jump into that. Let's talk about all-star teams, Devion. We got teams are set. So last week, Joe and I talked about the starters. I'll let you chime in if you want to say anything about the starters. But so in the East, somebody's obviously going to have to replace Embiid. Hey, what up, Kai?
What's up?
We got Giannis, Embiid until someone replaces him. Halliburton, Dame, Tatum. Those are your starters. And then off the bench, we got Bam, Paulo, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Julius Randle, and Donovan Mitchell. Solid squad there, I think. And then in the West, we got starters being LeBron, Luka, KD, SGA, and Jokic. Again, solid starters. And then off the bench, we got D-Book, Curry, AD, Ant, Paul George, Kawhi, and then someone that probably sticks out a little bit, but did just drop a little 62 piece, even though he lost, Karl Anthony Towns. So, Devion, do you got any issues with the all-star rosters? A couple notable players not there. De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, but
yeah, that one was kind of crazy. I thought Fox deserved to be there, but it's only you don't know what you're talking about. But it's only so much room you gonna do, and then Jalen Brunson probably should have been a starter, but
yeah,
in my
absolutely should have been
opinion,
a starter over Damian Lillard. Like that's just not even really close this year. We are
but
obviously a fairly anti-Knicks team or
but
podcast, but Jalen Brunson is the fucking truth.
but this is the reality of people. People gotta realize Dame is a superstar. He's a household name. Just playing good is not enough to go in and start an all-star game. So, is it unfortunate for Brunson? Yeah. People believe he should have played. He probably should, but Dame is still Dame. I'd rather see Dame play at All-Star weekend than Jalen Brunson. And I love Jalen Brunson. I'm just being real with you. So, I think he probably his play probably should deserve the star, but hey, that's not how the NBA works. We know that. It's like Steph Curry was number one in votes. He ain't starting either. So he ain't the only one, you know what I'm saying, suffering from this shit. But we got a lot of good guards, especially in the East. It's a lot of good guards. Because
I mean, the East is tough. I'm like, okay. I do like that we value winning. I think that's good. But man, I mean, Trae Young, he's averaging like 27 and 10.
they're losing.
What the fuck else do you have to do? I mean, we got some losers on here though. I mean, I guess their teams are all technically winning, but I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But like that's what I'm saying. This year was tough. You had to be good, and your team had to be halfway decent.
I mean, and I guess it's still partly hurt by like the guard versus four, whatever all that bullshit is. But like, you know me, I've been high on the Magic this year. I've liked what they're doing. Do we really think Paulo's better than Trae Young? Like, really?
No, but I would have rather have him on there this year than Trae Young because of his
Or
play
let me
and
do
his
it like this,
impact.
Deviant. Let me do it like this.
So
Now, Trae Young might
yeah.
be the guy that gets to replace Embiid if they don't care about position.
He
so
is.
It won't matter.
He probably will.
But would you rather have, as an all-star, I'm just asking the question, a number 2 on a team who is very good, like very famous number 2, right, in Jaylen Brown, or a number 1 on a team that's not doing as well, Trae Young? I have a personal bias against Jaylen Brown. Like, I would rather watch Trae Young than Jaylen Brown.
I would rather watch Trae Young, but I understand why Jaylen Brown is. See, that's what I'm saying. Like he plays for Boston. his number 2 option behind a dude who's probably going to be the face of the NBA. Like for real. Like he's one championship away from being the face of the NBA. So you go. It's the same thing as what was it when the Warriors and it was another team like the Warriors almost starting
Well, remember
5.
the old Atlanta Hawks
There we go.
when they were
There
the
it
one
is.
seed when
Couldn't
LeBron
remember.
was in Cleveland. Then
Yep.
they had no real superstars. But it was like Teague, Korver, Al Horford, Paul Millsap. Like all those guys, and they let them. They basically gave a bunch of them. They gave Kyle Korver a fucking All-Star game. He never.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Scott, you've been hitting me right
Yeah.
now.
You know.
Get those hands going, Kyle.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I get it, but it's just like if we gonna go with the best players, cool.
I think
but
to me the bigger snub is obviously De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron Fox should be a fucking All-Star.
yeah, that's the only
27
one
points a team.
I get they get.
27 points a game. I mean, they're
And
not
they're
having quite the team
winning.
success that they were having last year. They're not quite as high in the standings. But I mean, again, it's just not really his fault. I mean, they're still the 5 seed. Like they're 10 games over 500. Like
Yeah,
for them not to have
yeah.
a single All-Star is wild to me.
And the thing about it is they talking about Jalen Brunson not starting. Bro, they got like 2 more games over Sacramento. And
No, but see,
De'Aaron,
I think to me,
you know what I'm
the
saying?
reason why I
Like,
have so much beef with Jalen Brunson not starting is because I honestly think I believe this. He has been the best guard in the NBA this year.
I
He's been
don't
the best.
know.
He's been the best. In terms of like consistency from start to finish. Now, obviously, like Halliburton has had flashes, like streaks in the season that have been just out of this world. Like Halliburton's probably hit the highest highs for a guard, but in terms of just consistently doing it, there ain't been a better guard than Brunson. There hasn't. And I mean, if you call Luka a guard, whatever.
Yeah,
fine, you can
but
say
that's what I'm saying. Luka, Shea,
But he's right there with
Halliburton.
all those guys. Like just
Yeah.
in terms of staying right here and leading that team. I mean, look, do I think the Knicks are going to do anything in the playoffs? No, but this is based off the regular season. This is a regular season thing, and they've been good. They've been good.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, are you gonna take the best player, the best statistical player, or you gonna take the one with the best record? You gonna do a combination of both? It's just like because the guards that are starting over him, the only one that
Bro, it's Dame.
you
There's
know,
no way Dame should be a starter this year, bro.
yeah, but
Dame has not been that fantastic. Like he's been good. He's been
but
good.
stop.
I'm not saying he's not an all-star.
But they
But
got him
Dame
in
has
the.
not been Dame, bro.
He hasn't. I'll be the first to admit that he hasn't. But he's still averaging
Got
25
the
points a
goddamn coach
game.
fired.
Still got average. I think it was some other shit going on, but possibly. 35. He still averaging 25 points a game. They number 2, still contenders. So it's just like he gonna get rewarded, and he's been doing it for so long. That's why I'm saying he's been doing it for so long. Unless like if Brunson number one seed, number 1 option,
Yeah.
he'll probably start. But you
I
gonna have
just
to
think it's
do
more
that.
impressive what he's done, honestly.
He's been
better
way
than what I-
more. He
They
has
have
been
been better than
game.
what I thought they would be. The Bucks have been worse than what I thought they would be. And
Yeah.
like to me, like that matters. That matters. Dame's the number 2. He doesn't even have to have the number 1 responsibility. Brunson has to be the number 1. And if you were to ask people going into the year, I mean, there's clips from in season. People are like, well, the Knicks, you're just never going to have the best player on the court. Not this fucking year. Jalen Brunson has been the best player on the court in the majority of the games he's played in.
But yes, I'm
Even
not
when they
gonna
play
lie.
the best teams.
He's not. He's been doing great this year, but but if he starts, Steph Curry probably should start too. They gonna probably they'll do some weird shit like that. Cause I'm just saying like
Has Curry been,
not talent.
Curry could start. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
mad if Curry started.
but you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be fans who get stopped. Who gets to decide that? The fans, this. But he's in the All-Star game. Hey, take it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. You don't want to. You
Yeah, I
didn't
mean, at the end
start.
of the day, they don't tally all-star starters versus all-star.
No, nobody's gonna come back unless it comes to like you in a GOAT debate or something like that. Nobody's gonna be like, hey man, you didn't start in the
Not even
All-Star
that,
game.
because
Everybody
people
don't
don't care that
about
LeBron's been in 20 and the most ever. They don't care about that. But let's
I
talk about
don't.
one
I
last
really
thing.
don't.
Let's talk about one last thing with the All-Star game. So Doc Rivers is the fucking coach.
Look again. Names. it's more so like, what do you want to see? Like Jalen Brunson, people love Jalen Brunson, and he's getting the notoriety he should because he's in fucking New York. When he becomes next year, I think he's more of a household name. I think it changes, and now he can kind of demand some of that stuff because it hints Doc Rivers. What the fuck has he really done or won to deserve?
Well, he
doing
did say
this
he's gonna
that
give the
fast?
ring and the money to Adrian Griffin, who got fired under his watch, kind of. So, I mean, what would you give a take on that, Devion?
I'm not giving him shit. You should have been here to do your job. Why the fuck would I give him? If they wanted him to win the ring, they would have kept him. That's my ring. Fuck all that charity shit. Boy, I ain't trying to hear all that. Sound good for that media shit. Let him go win his own ring. Like I think he deserves, like the organization should offer him a ring. Because he did get him to the fucking #1 seed, and it's over half the games played already. So yeah, #2 seed. So you know what I'm saying? So you should at least give him a ring, but that's the organization's responsibility.
Here's my thing. I think it's the right move. I think it's the quote unquote classy move. Like, I'm cool with it.
I ain't
Like,
classy.
because Adrian Griffin did the legwork for this year. Doctor's been there for a cup of tea, so I don't really know why he's even in this position. But what I will say is, if I was Doc Rivers, I wouldn't have let that get to the media. I don't think, if I'm the Bucks, I don't really want this story continue to get talked about. Like, I don't really want people to keep talking about this whole story because, again, me and Joe talked about this last week, and I'll give you a chance to chime in if you want. I just think this was so shady how this all went down.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers being a consultant for the team, and then that guy gets fired. And, oh, look, Doc Rivers here just to walk right in and take the job that, and again, like, my whole thing with this is
They got who they wanted.
But no, we talked about this when Steve Nash, right, got the Nets job when KD, Harden, and Kyrie were all there, right? Like, it sure always seems to be like that. The white head coaches get to walk into the cushy new jobs, whereas like the Jacques Vaughns of the world, when they have to take a new coaching gig or their 1st coaching gig, it's with some bullshit team that just won 10 games, and they got to build the culture. And then when the team actually starts getting good, they kick them out and bring in somebody else new to reap the rewards of their fucking benefit. Adrian Griffin is kind of a unicorn in the sense that he was getting his first head coaching gig with a team, him being a black man with a team that had superstars
and did a phenomenal job.
I mean, they didn't look good. Like they were winning, but they didn't quite look right. But like, goddamn, man, they were 33-13 when he got fired. Like,
but they didn't look good.
Can he have a chance?
Yeah,
to correct
that's why I said I think the organization should give him one. Why should Doc? If Doc gives him that ring, that's because that's in my mind. I'd be like, you got a guilty conscience, and that's your way of trying to even it up. Because Dame, they didn't look good, but Dame was shooting 7 threes a game, but he was making 1. You know what I'm saying? So
they blamed him for the personnel decisions that they made.
Yeah.
What did you think the team was going to look like when you replaced Drew Holiday with Damian Lillard? They weren't going to look good defensively. That's not a defensive fucking move.
No, but I don't know. I think the whole thing was kind of bogus, but I don't know exactly what it is, so I ain't gonna really speculate. But it's probably they either didn't like him personally, or they wanted Doc to come in, and Doc said he'll take the job. So it's simple as that.
My thing is, if you wanted Doc, why don't you just hire him from the jump?
It's just weird.
Out there.
It's weird to me. So,
all right, let's start wrapping up a little bit. Top 5 power rankings, Devion. Top 5 teams in the NBA, and this is championship caliber. I'm not talking about they'll finish.
Let me get my.
I want to know who you think are the top 5 teams.
Let me get my list out. Okay, C's #1 for sure.
We need a blend of what you think they're going to be able to do in the future, but with a little bit of how they've shown it this year so far. So give me that, Devion. You can start at 1. You can start at 5. Don't matter to me.
1 is OKC. I got 2. Boston. It hurt me to say that. You said championship because I want to say Minnesota, but I don't think they're mature enough to win the championship. I think they're something off, but I like Ant so much that I'm willing to put them in the top 5. I just don't know. Oh man, I don't want to say this shit. The Clippers.
At what?
No, Denver. Sorry, Denver. Not my bad. Denver.
What number?
I'd rather put Denver at 3. I got Denver at 3, and then I got Minnesota at 5. And my 4 spot, I'm torn because I want to say Phoenix, but they're not playing like they supposed to. Uh, I'll probably say Milwaukee because it's in that little they in that same group as like Philadelphia. Like how you feel about Philadelphia and all them. That's how I kind of feel about that thing. And I would put what's his name? Minnesota would have been way high up on my list. But when Cat scored that 60 points and they lost it, and I saw how they lost that game, and I watched that game, the whole game, and I said, oh, they not ready to win a championship. They immature. And a coach even came out and said, I said, yeah, they missing something.
I
So
do like that the coach came out and like called them out
yeah,
for it.
I love
I
that.
mean, like he was basically saying, like, yeah, y'all were so caught up in Cat scoring as many points as you fucking could, y'all forgot to try and win the goddamn game. Is basically what he said,
Boom. Yeah. And it was true
and
though.
that's facts.
It's true.
And then what's crazy is Cat was all hype. He was doing his thing. He was happy, celebrating, big smile on his face in the first 3 quarters. Then all of a sudden the lead got cut, and they had to start trying to win. Oh, Cat, you went 2 of 10, buddy.
Yeah. And Ant
Choked
didn't
it.
and Ant wasn't scoring like that either. He
Yeah,
didn't put
Ant. Just
had like
he went into being a fan too.
he had like 13 points or some shit like that and a whole bunch of assists. And I was like, oh, when he started doing this?
I
I
mean,
was
shit,
like, boy, you were
it helps when Cat is making everything in the first 3 quarters. But
yeah,
all right, I'll
but
give you my top five. Let me go. I'll start at the bottom. Number 5, I'm gonna go Milwaukee.
I'm fine with that.
Getting beat up. This is why you haven't been able to do the show.
Yeah, bro. That's why I be having them random marks on my face all the time. Be him.
All right, so 5, I'm gonna go Milwaukee. 4, I'm gonna go Boston. I'm not sold on that team. I'm not sold on that team. Number 3, I'm gonna go Phoenix. I think Phoenix is turning a corner. They've got their guys playing. They have won 8 out of 10 games with
Give me 2
Beal.
weeks. Yeah,
They've won
2
8
more
out of 10
weeks.
with Beal, KD, and Booker. They're really kind of finding their stride here. Number 2,
It's hard.
These two, I know what my top 2 are. It's just tough. I'm gonna go to Nuggets.
Yeah, say OKC number 1.
I'm bought in, and I'm sticking with OKC at number 1.
OKC
top
is
5 for me
cold.
with OKC. I love everything they do. Again, I said this last time. I'll say it again. They are top 5 in offensive rating, top 5 in defensive rating. That's a fucking title team.
And you know what gave it away for me on OKC? And I know everybody say this, but it's for real. When Chet and Wemby play 1-on-1 against each other, and they was like they treat the score like it was 0-0 with something to prove, and I'm like, oh, I said, oh, they nice, and they got more than one player. They treat most of their best players treat like it's 0-0 every time.
Jalen Williams, fantastic player. SGA is obviously, we all know what SGA is. He's an MVP candidate, in my opinion, this year. Chet, obviously, Lou Dortz, great role player. They got a lot. They got a lot of firepower. They do got somebody with some questionable behavior. Old 15-year-old Hunter Josh Giddey, but look, the rest of that team, they're tough. they're tough. They're still young, so they're gonna have some losses during the year that I think are due to immaturity.
Yeah, but they play with a good enough. Like some of them players play with what Shy in particular played with when he was on OKC, not OKC, but like the Clippers. He played with enough. Like,
and then when Chris Paul was in OKC, they went to playoffs, so he's got some playoff experience.
And then they got the veteran. They got the veteran experience through a bunch of younger guards. Well, older guards that have played that now is translating, which is why I was like, this is what I thought Golden State would, why they picked up
You know,
Chris
I should have maybe
Paul.
mentioned this with the trade you want to see, and I can't believe I'm going to say this because I was very happy to see him go. But if they had just gave up like a second-round pick and like end of the bench type of guy to Charlotte to snag Kyle Lowry, just to have like a vet in there that's kind of been through it.
I would have took that because it's like you just need somebody who knows who's won, really, who's won and who knows how to win, and good at what is it? Good at not
Like,
necessarily. You don't have
nurturing
to
young
be.
players,
Yeah,
just like
you gotta be
good
good
with
at
other
nurturing.
players.
There we go.
He's not out there going to be. He's not going to be going out there trying to get up 15 shots a game. You know, just play 10 to 12 minutes of meaningful basketball, and hey, that could help. That could be a move that really helps kind of steady them through the trials and tribulations of like a playoff run. I think they could use somebody like that, but I love them. They're my number one team. But Devion, you know how we choose. You know how we end this show. We choose love or we choose violence. Kai is obviously choosing violence against you. I don't know what the hell you did to him earlier today.
Oh, this is how my son is every day, 6:30 in the
Just like his
morning
daddy.
until he goes to sleep. Yeah, we don't stop moving. Yeah, he acts just like it. But I'm picking violence. I'm doing well. I ain't choose. I'm picking two. I don't like. Let me try to be the best way to word this. I don't like that Griffin lost his job the way that he did, but I'm okay that he at least another black man got a job. Look, that's all. That's all he did about it. But I'm just like, I don't like that shit, and I hate these rules with the NBA, like the low. Like like I said, I'm cool with teams not having load management, but we are conditioned since the Spurs and Tim Duncan for 20 years of doing load management. We didn't care. All we wanted to know was if you were going to do load management, just give us like a 3-game notice. So, so like when I went to Dallas like a week ago, Luka wasn't playing. So I was like, oh, I'm like Kyrie's playing, but I'm just like, I haven't seen Luka play in person though, so I didn't go to the game. You get what I'm saying? So I just don't like these dumbass rules. Like, and I get it, they're trying to do it for the fans, but like Father Time is undefeated, and so it's Rocky. But I don't know. I just don't like the rules, and I think it's affecting like Embiid, like a freak accident like this. He's out 20 games, and he had 35 a game, and he's clearly the MVP of the season. In my eyes, he's clearly the MVP. But if shit like this would have happened with Jokic, everybody would have been bitching. Imagine the year Jokic won the championship, and he had this happen to him. Oh no, that rule's dumb and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. I just don't like the rules. It's just, I get it. If you're sitting out because you know what I'm saying, because of load management, you shouldn't get MVP. But if you actually have an actual injury like this, Halliburton, look at Halliburton. He may not get his bonus. I think his bonus.
My whole point
I
is
just
like,
don't like
if
that.
you don't play,
Yeah.
like, how can you be the MVP if you're not playing?
But it should be
not bringing
some
value if you're not
caveats
playing.
to that though. You know what I'm saying? Like Halliburton, I just use him. We take him out the thing. Use Halliburton. He had that freak. He's having a crazy year, and he's missed. He's like 2 or 3 games away from it, and it's all because of injury. It ain't nothing like you're playing a physical
Right, but
game that you
like you're
can't
getting
prevent.
caught up in like the
Stop.
why, but I don't think the why matters. Like at the end of the day, if
I
you're
do.
gonna be MVP, like
Why always matters.
no, not in this sense, because if you're gonna be the most valuable player, you deliver the most value to a team this year, you can't deliver value if you're not on the court.
Man.
Like I'm not saying like you have to like blame the player or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like if you play 40 games, you can't be the most valuable player because you didn't play in half the game.
His 55, Embiid gonna play 55 games. His 55 games gonna damn near be more impressive than the next 2 or 3 people running up for MVP to me.
Not for MVP, bro. Like you
I do.
Like, You got people like Jokic, bro. If
The
Jokic is
only
playing
person
80 games,
I don't care about
he's
it. I
not
don't
that
even think
much
he's an
better than
MVP.
Jokic. That
I
where
don't
he
think
doesn't play 50.
MVP is Jokic. I think it's between, in my personal opinion, it's only between Embiid and Shy. If Halliburton gets higher up in the like top 2 or top 3, I
Or
think he
Giannis.
should
I
be
think Giannis
considered.
has a case.
Yeah. But here's the thing: we've seen Giannis do the same shit with lesser players, be in the same position, so they're not going to give it to him again. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the things.
But
Like
I'm saying in
he's
a
not going to get
theoretical
it.
world, if
Yeah.
Giannis plays 75 games and
Giannis will
plays
win.
55 games,
Giannis been
I'm
my
just
MVP the
what
last
way is
5
it
years.
so
I
good in
ain't gonna
those
lie.
55 that he makes up for the 20 game difference that they play? That's all I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
the top players are too good.
Man, I don't know. It's gonna be based
Now,
on
if
their
every
team.
top player only played 60 and Embiid played 55, okay, I got no qualms with that. But all right, so I'm choosing violence, and I'm choosing violence on some fucking Michael Porter Jr. I don't know if you saw this, Devion, but he went on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor, who I mostly enjoy all of them. But he was out there trying to act like he was this advocate for women's basketball, women's sports, and then basically just dogged the entire goddamn WNBA. I was just like, what are we doing? He's sitting there. He's like, well, I don't think they shouldn't make the same amount of dollars as men. Blah 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 blah. They need to lower the rims. They need to do all these things. I'm just sitting there like, do you watch the games? Like, yes, I know they don't fly down the lane and dunk. That's okay. The women's game is still leaps and bounds way better than it ever has been. Is still very exciting. And then at the end of the day, if you're gonna say all some shit like that, don't try and make yourself out to be a fucking advocate or a supporter, because you're not. If you think you got to change the whole goddamn game, you don't support them then. Like, just at least be honest. Call a spade a spade. If you think it needs to be changed, and don't say you're fucking supporting shit, because you ain't supporting anything. All you have to do is just say, watch the game, watch how they play, watch Asia Wilson, watch Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, just like name some of the players that are doing the thing. The whole thing came about when he asked, like, would you ever wear like a woman's signature shoe, like Brianna Stewart's signature shoe? And then he just turned into this like whole like thing, like
If she
crucifying
got
the
a nice
WNBA.
shoe, yeah, if she got a nice shoe, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
But I don't think people care.
I know.
Men wear women's shoes all the time.
I hate all the people that just come out here and try and do the most when they're trying to talk about. If you don't watch it, then don't comment on it. That's all I gotta say. Like, if you don't watch it, don't comment on it. It shouldn't be surprising though. When he's one of the men that decided they were going to try and co-opt the, my body, my choice shit when it came to getting a vaccine and everything. So I shouldn't be surprised he's not going to support women, but Michael Porter Jr., Mizzou guy from St. Louis area, if I recall, your side of the river, I believe. But yeah, he's always been corny, so it's not surprising. But that's 3 into possible. You know how we do. We choose violence most of the time, so it is what it is. And on a violent note, but Devion, good to have you back. Hopefully we'll get